Like, people send me hate because they're like, there's people in this world that could be using that wheelchair and you're using it just for your hand. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Oh my gosh, I am in such a squeaky chair. But that leads me on to what this video is actually going to be about today, and that's why I am in a wheelchair, because it's probably like one of my most asked questions. And no, for all the people that keep commenting on my videos, I am not in a wheelchair because of my wrist. Like, people keep commenting that I'm in a wheelchair in case I fall over, I could hurt my wrist more. So that's why I'm in a wheelchair, so that my wrist won't hurt. But no, that is not why. And I will get into why I'm actually in a wheelchair. But if you haven't already, go and check out my previous video, because that's on like what is wrong with my hand and what happened to my hand. So yeah, on to this video, I guess. Yeah, and of course I've got notes because my forgetful brain will not remember anything. So let's go on to it. So I have a lot of conditions, as you know, and one of them, well actually like more than one of them, affects my legs. But the one that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to go back to the beginning to like talk about how it all started, I guess. So at this time, where we left off in my previous video, I already had like a bad wrist. It didn't look quite like this, but it was still in a bad like way. I'll try and put an image here. And then I noticed like I started to, like my legs kept giving way. I kept randomly falling over and I had no clue why. I just put it down to like lack of sleep, like the medications that I was taking for my hand, and I just thought that they were what was affecting my legs. So I didn't tell the doctor about it because I didn't think it was anything to worry about. But it happened more and more and more. I even fell down the stairs at one time, and I was like always hitting my head as well because I just kept falling, and it was like my legs just turned off. Like I'll just be walking and then my knees would just turn off and I'll just go to the floor. Then, when it started to get worse, I had gone back into hospital again and I was having like another surgery on my wrist. And when I woke up from the surgery, something just wasn't quite right. So my left leg, I started to not be able to feel that well. Like they've been going like a bit pins and needly, but it was now like a dead leg. Like when you've been sat on your leg for so long and you can't feel it anymore. That was what had happened to my left leg. I thought, oh, it's just because I've had an operation. So I was still like falling over. They put me as a falls risk in the hospital. So I wasn't allowed to get out of bed because I was falling too much and it was affecting their like, I don't know, like numbers of the hospital, how the hospital looks. I don't know, like they have to record whenever you fall and it makes them look bad if you fall too many times. Even though it was like my fault every single time. After that, it just got worse and worse, and it like got worse quite quickly after this as well. And that's when like a neurologist got involved and I was getting tested for all sorts of scary things. And when they came back with all of those tests were inconclusive and they weren't sure like what was actually going on, they then said that I had something called FND, and they diagnosed me with functional neurological disorder. Now, I was quite lucky because some people, it takes years to get this diagnosis. I think partly because I was already in the hospital with like something else. I had like problems with my wrist and also I had problems with my stomach. So I think that meant that I had more access to like more teams of doctors. So basically, I should probably explain what functional neurological disorder is. FND is, it can look like so many different ways because there's so many different symptoms for functional neurological disorder, and not many people know what it is, but it's actually rather common. Like quite a lot of people in England have functional neurological disorder. I'll put like all the stats up here because I'm not actually sure what they are, but the easiest way to explain it is that there's nothing wrong with like the hardware of like my body, but there's something wrong with the software. So like a computer, like everything's plugged in right, but it's just not sending messages correctly. So it's a neurological condition where, say I think I want to move my leg, I send a message, it doesn't move. So at this point, I couldn't move my legs anymore. And that's when it was getting quite serious because, like, I was bedbound at the time and I was in hospital for a long time. It also, I was having other symptoms, like I was having a lot of seizures, what else? Like spasms. So my doctors aren't really sure why I developed this disorder, but you can develop it through trauma, you can develop it through like illness or like injury, and you can also just develop it out of the blue. Some people get it for like no reason that they like can explain. But I've made so much progress. There was a time when I couldn't even hold my head up. I couldn't even use this hand. Like I had to relearn how to use this hand and this arm. And that's why I have this wheelchair, because I wouldn't have been able to use a power chair at that stage. And that's why I'm still stuck in this wheelchair today, waiting for a powered wheelchair. I hope it comes soon. Oh, my wrist just clicked.
Hey guys, so I'm just in the middle of editing and I was trying to find a way to like best show how much progress my right arm, my good arm, has made. And then I suddenly realized like how much art I've done throughout this time, and I think that really does show the improvements I've made in my right arm, my good arm. This goes from like, these pictures were from the very beginning of when my arm was at its worst to just this Christmas, just gone. So if you go back and look at the first pictures, you'll notice how shaky they were. That's because I could hardly control my hand. It was doing the opposite to what I would tell it to do. So if I told it to go right, it would go left. And it was so confusing and it was shaking so much. And I could hardly hold on to the pencil. So I used to have hand on hand and someone would have to help me. And yeah, it's gone to like, I'm a better artist now than like I was before all of this. So I really don't know where it's come from, but art has become like such a therapy for me, and I just find it so relaxing.
I thought this video was going to be longer, to be honest. What have I missed out? I feel like I've missed out a massive chunk. Another symptom of functional neurological disorder is like brain fog and like memory problems. I definitely tick that box. Though to be fair, I think I've always ticked it. Yeah. I get very distracted. In terms of what the future looks like, I don't know. But I'm gonna assure you this, that I am always gonna work as hard as I can to make as much progress as I can. And yeah, I think I'm doing that. Some updates for you guys. I have 2 appointments coming up next week. One's with my anaesthetist for my surgery for my hand, and one is with the pre-op team. So hopefully my operation on my hand will be very soon, which I don't know how to feel about that, because I think it's going to affect the rest of my body, because I'm probably not going to be able to do as much with my hand, and also with my pain condition I'm going to be in a lot of pain. So I am not in a wheelchair because of my hand. That's just all I wanted to clear up in this video. Like, that's the main part, like, I wanted to clear up, because it gets so annoying reading that comment every single day. Like, people send me hate because they're like, there's people in this world that could be using that wheelchair and you're using it just for your hand. Like, no, my friend. I'm using it because my legs don't work. Like, oh yeah, I can't feel both my legs. Like, from the waist down, I can't feel both my legs and I can't move them. Did I explain that already? Another symptom of functional neurological disorder is like brain fog and like memory problems. I don't know if I explained that already. I am working on very limited sleep right now, so I think that's also affecting my memory, because I find like when I haven't got enough sleep, my FND can sometimes get worse. Same with when I'm ill, my FND can like get worse. I'm just gonna go now because I can't what I'm saying. I really should have made more notes. I literally made 4 bullet points. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and put in the comments something else you would like to know about me or another video idea that you have. But yeah, love you guys. Bye.